What's good, y'all? It's your guy Bendu. So today I wanted to talk about this Palestine situation going on, man. I saw news about it breaking out over the weekend, but then I saw, obviously like everybody talking about it on Twitter today and everything. Let's go ahead and get into it. I have a couple, pieces of things I'm gonna work through and everything. So, like I said, I'll link everything down below, but the Twitter stuff, honestly, you're just gonna have to find it yourself, for real, for real. I'll link like the articles I use and all that, but certain tweets and everything, just you had to find out yourself personally. Unless I'll try, if I can link it, I'll link it. But yeah, but let's go ahead and get into this Joneski. Alrighty, all right. Al-Aqsa mosque, dozens hurt in Jerusalem clashes. At least 163 Palestinians and 6 Israeli police officers have been hurt in clashes in Jerusalem. Palestinian medics and Israeli police say most were injured at the Al-Aqsa mosque, where Israeli police fired rubber bullets and stun grenades as Palestinians threw stones and bottles. So yeah, if anybody's trying to draw equivalence of somebody throwing a bottle at somebody, and look, I know a bottle can do damage, but there's a difference between a fucking bottle and fucking rubber bullets and stun grenades. Tensions have been rising over the potential eviction of Palestinians from land claimed by Jewish settlers. So this is about the Sheikh Jarrah situation and everything in that neighborhood. Basically, they're about to, like they say here, evict a whole bunch of Palestinians and shit like that. I'd recommend going to watch Richard Medhurst's video about it. He covered it well. I was going to cover it during the live stream, but I was having technical difficulties, so I didn't get a chance to get to it. But I definitely recommend go watching his video. I might link it below too. The Red Crescent has opened a field hospital to treat the wounded. The Al-Aqsa Mosque complex in Jerusalem's Old City is one of Islam's most revered locations, but its location is also the holiest site in Judaism, known as the Temple Mount. The site, I'll give my opinion on all these religions at the end, because my take is probably going to be controversial, but I want to get through the story. So, the site is a frequent flashpoint for violence, which unfolded again on Friday night after thousands had gathered there to observe the last Friday of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Israeli police said they had used force to restore order due to the rioting of thousands of worshippers after evening prayers. Maybe, evicted them off of their fucking land so you can move it. Like, man. Palestinian President Mahmoud, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm just gonna say it how I'm not gonna do the accents, because I feel like I'm being disrespectful if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Abbas, meanwhile, said he held Israel responsible for the dangerous developments and sinful attacks. And Aqsa officials said, for calm over the mosque's loudspeakers, police must immediately stop firing stun grenades at worshippers, and the youth must calm down and be quiet. Okay. Reuters news agency quoted them as saying, the Palestinian Red Crescent Emergency Services said 88 of the injured Palestinians were taken to the hospital after they were hit with rubber-coated metal bullets. Police said some of the 6 officers injured needed medical treatment. And this is just some pictures of everything going on. The international community also appealed for de-escalation on Friday as anger mounted over the threatened eviction of Palestinian families in East Jerusalem's Sheikh Jarrah district. A U.S. State Department spokeswoman said Washington was deeply concerned about the heightened tensions. The European Union condemned the violence and said perpetrators on all sides must be held accountable. Now, perpetrators on Israel, in Israel, the Israeli government needs to be fucking held accountable. The UN Special Coordinator for the Middle East peace process for Wenslan urged all parties to respect the status quo of holy sites in Jerusalem's Old City in the interest of peace and stability. And this is her tweet. The UN has said Israel should call off any evictions and employ maximum restraint in the use of force against protesters. That's not going to fucking happen. The League of Arab States, or Arab League, called on the international community to intervene to prevent any evictions. Israel's court will hold a hearing on a long-running legal case on Monday. Tension has been high throughout the Islamic holy month of Ramadan. Before the latest violence in the Al-Aqsa compound, there were Palestinian protests over Israeli barricades erected outside Jerusalem's old city. There has been nightly unrest over possible Palestinian evictions in nearby Sheikh Jarrah. Elsewhere in the occupied West Bank, 2 Palestinians were shot dead after firing at an Israeli military base on Friday earlier in the week. A Palestinian gunman killed an Israeli religious student, and a Palestinian teenager was killed in clashes with Israeli forces searching for him. The international calls for calm and restraint show recognition of the dangers if this escalation continues. And there is deep concern about what could happen on Monday. Israel's Supreme Court is due to hold a hearing on the Sheikh Jarrah case as Israelis mark Jerusalem Day, the annual celebration of the capture of the east of the city during the 1967 Middle East War. Includes a flag march in the old city that typically leads to clashes with local Palestinians. Literally celebrating fucking taking these people's land. Israel has occupied East Jerusalem since the 1967 Middle East War and considers the entire city its capital. Though this is not recognized by the vast majority of the international community, Palestinians claim East Jerusalem as the future capital of a hoped-for independent state. So, and there's a picture of everything. That's insane, man. So, this is from Sky News. Israel, nationalist march rerouted in Jerusalem following clashes that saw more than 300 hurt. Palestinians, so that other article is from when it first happened. This one is from today. Palestinians said stun grenades were fired into the Al-Aqsa mosque compound, leaving at least 305 hurt, according to reports. Israeli police have changed the route of a contentious march by Jewish ultra-nationalists in Jerusalem following clashes that saw more than 300 people injured. The original route had planned to go through Damascus Gate and into the Muslim quarter of the old city. But the march in honor of Jerusalem Day has been changed to avoid that area due to heightened tensions following clashes between Israeli police and Muslim worshippers. The Palestinian Red Crescent Society said more than 305 Palestinian worshippers were injured and at least 228 taken to hospital following violence at the Al-Aqsa mosque compound this morning. And again, there's pictures. 7 people are said to be in critical condition, and police said 21 officers were injured. An Associated Press photographer who witnessed the confrontation said that some worshipers had barricaded gates to the compound with wooden boards and scrap metal when the violence erupted around 7 a.m. local time. Yeah, probably because, you know, when they start fucking shooting at you with rubber coated metal bullets, I would do that shit fucking too. Officers fired tear gas and stun grenades, some of them landing inside the compound itself, where around 400 people reportedly were. Authorities said the worshippers threw stones and other objects at police and onto an adjoining road where thousands of Israeli Jews had gathered to pray. There is a debate about who started this morning's violence. Ophir Jindelman, a spokesman for Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, claimed in a tweet that extremist Palestinians planned well in advance to carry out riots at the holy site. He added that Israel guarantees freedom of worship, but not the freedom to riot and attack innocent people. Meanwhile, Nabil Abu Rudin, a spokesman for, I'm sorry, I'm butchering names, for Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, accused Israeli occupation forces of conducting a brutal raid at Al-Aqsa. In other violence, Palestinian protesters hurled rocks at an Israeli vehicle driving just outside the old city walls. See, and I get people wanting to talk about that, and I'm all for keeping shit fair when it comes to criticisms, but the Palestinians are literally living in a fucking authoritarian occupation state. Literally what they say fucking China does to the Uyghur population is actually what Israel is doing. Literally everything from ethnic cleansing, blocking food from getting into there. I don't know if forced slavery is going on. I wouldn't be surprised. I know I was watching Abby Martin's Empire Files, and some of the Sudanese people that were fleeing the war there, that Israel, by the way, also helped stir up and intensify, literally said, yo, y'all either get the fuck out the country or you go live in the prisons. And so I wouldn't be surprised if there's forced slavery going on. So, but continuing, the driver appeared to lose control and slammed into a bystander. Police said 2 passengers were hurt. Hundreds of Palestinians and about 24 police officers have been injured in similar incidents over the last few days. So hundreds of Palestinians compared to 24 police officers. Hundreds of Palestinians and about 24 police officers. I digress. The Al-Aqsa mosque compound, known to Jews as the Temple Mount and to Muslims as the Noble Sanctuary, is considered the holiest site in Judaism and the 3rd holiest in Islam. It has been center stage for Israel-Palestinian violence in the past. Tensions in the city are particularly high as Israel marks Jerusalem Day on Monday, its annual celebration of the capture of East Jerusalem and the walled old city that is home to Muslim, Jewish, and Christian holy places in a 1967 war. Police barred Jews from visiting the Al-Aqsa compound to mark the day in an effort to dial down tensions. They said the decision to reroute the traditional Jerusalem Day march to the Western Wall in the Jewish quarter had come at the direction of the country's political leaders. This year, the march coincides with the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, a time of heightened religious sensitivities. Addressing a special cabinet ahead of Jerusalem Day, Netanyahu said on Sunday that Israel will not allow any extremists to destabilize the calm of Jerusalem. Yeah, fuck off, motherfucker. We will enforce law and order decisively and responsibly. Yeah, he sounds like fucking Trump's bitch ass. We will continue to maintain freedom of worship for all faiths, but we will not allow violent disturbances. At the same time, he added, we emphatically reject the pressures not to build in Jerusalem. The UK has appealed for calm in light of the violence on Monday morning. James Cleverly, Minister for the Middle East and North Africa, said in a statement, the UK appeals for calm and calls for an end to the violence in Jerusalem. All sides need to de-escalate tensions in the final days of Ramadan. Where we at? The U.S., meanwhile, has reiterated its serious concerns about the situation. Joe Biden's he's a Zionist maniac, just like, even more so than Trump is. So he's not going to do shit. We're going to continue giving these people money to oppress the Palestinians. So it's like, fuck your platitudes, bro. We know what you guys are. Every single one of you motherfuckers speak at APEC, okay? We know what you are. I just hate people bullshitting, man. The UN Security Council has scheduled closed consultations on the situation. Diplomats said the meeting was requested by Tunisia, the Arab representative on the council. Tensions have soared in recent weeks in East Jerusalem, which is claimed by both Israel and the Palestinians. At the beginning of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, Israel blocked off a popular gathering spot where Palestinians traditionally socialize at the end of their day-long fast. The move set off 2 weeks of violent incidents before Israel lifted the restrictions. In recent days, the violence has resumed after Israel threatened to evict dozens of Palestinians in the Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood in East Jerusalem. The situation in Jerusalem has all the worrying elements of a third intifada. This is Dan Cohen, and he made the point basically I made. Funny how the United States pretends to care about Muslims in China while funding the Israeli occupation forces that are terrorizing Muslims inside one of the holiest mosques in the world. I love to see someone put that point to Blinken and watch him squirm. And there you have that. And this is Sky News again on Twitter. The video they had on Twitter. That's crazy, man. I couldn't fucking imagine. Damn. And they're shooting these people with rubber coated metal bullets. Whatever the fuck that means. I thought the bullets were supposed to be just all rubber. Shit is insane, man. Tear gas, all that shit. And this doesn't help. This makes the situation worse. This makes them fall into their extremism more, which is going to push the Israeli, you know, people, the Israeli cops and all that shit into their extremism more. So none of this shit really helps. And honestly, like, you know, I told y'all I was going to give my opinion, and it's going to be kind of controversial. So when I say this, I am in no way trying to offend, you know, my Muslim listeners. I probably already offended my Jewish listeners at this point, if I have any, and I'm not apologizing for it, but it's just, you know, that's just my opinion. I still got love for you as a person. You know, I just don't fuck with it, with what Israel's doing to the Palestinians. So it's no hate towards you. It's hate towards your fucking bullshit ass government. However, this is probably where, like I said, where I'm going to offend my Muslim. Fuck all these religions, bro. Real shit. That's how I give it up. Like, I am recently, I'm like, I guess I'm agnostic because I'm not atheist because I don't believe there's no God. You feel me? I do believe there's a higher power, but I just don't think it's like, you know, the bullshit that we humans have, you know, latched and adopted and latched onto, like, you know, especially Christianity. But I hate all these religions, bro. I hate them all, every single one of them. If I could Thanos snap my fingers tomorrow and wipe every single religion off the face of the earth, you'd be damn sure I'd do that. However, when it comes down to it, I am a person that's for absolute freedom, which includes people's freedom to worship any god they want, just like I have my freedom to not worship the gods I want. So I'm all for you, you know, worshiping your gods, but I feel like it's kind of ridiculous to sit here and pretend like the world wouldn't be a better place without these fucking religions. Any of them, every single one of them, any, you know, all of them, for real, every single one. And it's like, you know, by the end of the day, that's how human beings are. You know, we we latch on to superstitions to explain the unexplainable, you know, blase blah, keep going on, so on and so forth. So like I said, I'm not trying to offend any of my religious, you know, people who are following on the channel right now. That's just how I personally feel about religion. You know, if I was in office, though, I would uphold what I believe, you know, because I do believe in some of the constitutional values of this country, like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, you know, all that. The basics basically is what I believe in. So like, if I was in office, you wouldn't, like, because I find it hypocritical how, you know, conservatives specifically will sit here and talk about how, you know, they're supposed to be uber constitutionalists. Like, I love the Constitution so much, but they seem to like always break the Constitution when it comes to their religion, because their religion, in their minds and what their religion teaches them is that it supersedes the law of the land, the law of the Lord, the law of the quote unquote Lord supersedes the law of the land. So they're always, of course, going to be biased and act in favor of their fucking religion, which is why you see all these fundings, you know, this funding going to churches and shit like that. When the founding fathers meant for the country to be secular, there was a good chunk of the founding fathers who were atheists as fuck. And even some, I don't even believe some of the ones who say they were Christian were actually Christian, especially like niggas like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and shit like that. Knowing like they were in all these fucking secret societies and fraternities and shit, like the Freemasons and all that shit. You know, I don't believe in all the crazy kooky, you know, not kooky, but the things people say about them. But I definitely don't believe they were fucking as religious as, you know, they portrayed themselves to be, you know. So, but that's just how I feel about religion in a nutshell. So I guess you got my Bendu thoughts on religion as well. But yeah, but bottom line is, regardless, I can't do this to people, man. You stole their land already. You came in as an imperialistic force, well, on the backs of an imperialistic force, which is the United States, but just stole these people's land. And no, you know, nobody's doing anything about it because, oh, well, Israel's developed now. Like, that's still Palestine, nigga. That's not Israel. I'm just saying Israel because that's what everybody calls it. That's Palestine, nigga. That's not your land. You stole that shit from the niggas, bro. It's like somebody walking into your crib, like, unannounced, like basically just walking your crib saying, hey, this is my crib now. And then you fight them up. Like I saw this one Steven Crowder video. This is why I think he's a fuckhead. Even though I watch, like I said, I watch his channel every now and then. But he posted this video basically like painting Israel as like this super bad guy, or this super good guy. Like, oh, all of these Arab countries just out of nowhere jumped Israel, so Israel defended itself. Nah, nigga, they walked on somebody's fucking land and tried to take that shit. And niggas fought them. Like, what are you talking about? Now, I don't even buy into the argument, well, they won the war. It's like you won an imperialist war on the backs of the imperial superpower. Of course you're gonna win, nigga. But it's like, that's just something, man. It's infuriating, bro. Like don't try to frame it because of your fucking bullshit ass, stupid, retarded ass fucking religious beliefs, bro. Like that shit is just so dumb to me when niggas do that. And it's like, even I even called Shapiro one time, and it's like, look, I know I'm talking about, I don't hold these guys to any standard, but it's just funny to catch them in their bullshit. So when the whole Gina Carano, Pedro Pascal thing was going on, the conservative crowd started freaking out because Pedro Pascal posted a picture of kids in cages. Well, it happened to be that the kids in cages were not from the border, like Pedro Pascal was portraying him to be. And he's a shit lib. He comes off as a shit lib. I'm pretty sure. I think he is a shit lib. He's a fucking shit lib. But it's like Ben Shapiro he's framing it like that. Oh, those aren't even kids in cages. I think they're kids in cages from like Palestine or something. And then he got real fucking quiet. Didn't say shit about that. Yeah, bro. Kids in cages are like, that's not bad in Palestine either. Let me get your thoughts on that, bro. He's not talking about those kids in cages. I promise you, he probably won't. If he does talk about this, it's going to be in a bullshit, dumbass light. So like all these fucking, and then everything from Abby Martin's case, like, and when she posts a video about that, I'm a probably like do a reaction probably to it. Like they literally tried to make Shorty, they tried to make Abby Martin like sign this like pledge to Israel or some shit that like, so like basically if she took this speaking gig she was supposed to do, in order for her to do that speaking gig, she had to pledge allegiance to Israel, not like basically promise to not critique them and shit like that. When it's like, they know her whole thing is critiquing Israel, but apparently it's not, that wasn't just a specified thing for her. This is the thing that's in a lot of independent contractors, you know, people that go and do independent contracts and shit. It's in their contracts to do this. So literally the United States is forcing people to pledge allegiance to a foreign power. That's literally, and threatening your right to work and basically make money in this country if you don't do that shit. Never hear them niggas talking about that. Never hear the free speech crowd talking about that shit. They gonna talk about pink-haired college kids. Fuck out my face, nigga. Fuck out of here. So I'm getting worked up. I'm about to start yelling. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. As always, yo, fuck Israel, BDS all day, nigga. And fuck Andrew Yang for not being for that shit. Fuck any of y'all motherfuckers who are not for BDS and sitting here bullshitting about BDS. AOC, Rokana, all y'all. Middle fingers up to y'all niggas, real talk. I'm gonna do that shit every time I talk about Palestine, bro. Palestine, however you say that shit, I don't give a fuck. And fuck Rashida Tlaib for even like fucking voting for Nancy Pelosi, who's in favor. Fuck all them, bro. None of them are gonna do shit. So I know I'm being brash and shit like that. But that's how I'm feeling today, bro. Especially seeing like these motherfuckers, y'all went in there and took somebody's fucking land and pretending like that shit yours, nigga. Yo, bro. I'll smack the shit out of somebody they do that to me, bro. But let me stop. As the Boondocks would say, I'm having a super nigga moment right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the video out there, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Emphasis on everything from comments, all of that, because y'all know the YouTube CEO, she already admitted they like to shit on platforms like mine. So show love, please. Show out and show love. If you're on Odyssey, same thing. And yeah, stay tuned for videos Thursday. I think this is the most I've posted on a Monday. I think I got like 4 or 5 videos out right now on Monday. You know, I'm sticking to that schedule, y'all. I'm fucking caffeined up right now. You know, I got my teeth feeling fixed finally. Next thing I got to get my wisdom teeth fixed next. That's gonna be a bitch, but yeah. But thanks for tuning in, y'all. Peace and fuck Israel.